I don't think there's... Oh, there's one creature that Frank can eat with the Scavenging Ooze. Um, I think for Frank right now, though, the plan should be to attack with the Scavenging Ooze and the Qasali Pridemage, as Adam has a blocker. There we go. Let me pass the turn. So, Adam's Cryptic Command is online now. There we go. We got a Serum Visions. He almost played and didn't show the Serum Visions. And we'll see if he finds anything relevant here that'll give him an answer. He's really thinking about it. Hard in the tank. One on top, one on bottom. So that's going to resolve. Still has Cryptic Command mana up. It's a Flooded Strand. So when we go to Frank's turn, I'm pretty sure Frank's gonna... Oh, he's gonna eat a Soulfire, I think. There we go. Yeah, eats the Soulfire, gains a life, eats something else, gains another life. And moves to combat, and I think this is going to see the Cryptic Command come out as Adam's hand to tap down Frank's team. It's a pretty good card to have as the last card in your hand. And there you go, Frank just passes the turn back. We're going to see a Bolt come across and take care of the Pridemage. So I think, yeah, that's just going to happen. So Adam set the Bolt up there, and he's going to concede. Frank's going to get this game, and we're going to go to game 2. Okay, guys, so that was an exciting game 1. See what game 2 has in store. Something that I think Frank's going to want to bring in is the Chokes and the Core Firewalkers. He doesn't need the Kataki's War Wage. Excuse me. Adam does play a lot of basics, so bringing the Blood Moons and the Magus of the Moon isn't super great, but he can bring it in. It just makes it hard for Adam to be able to fetch and make his mana base perfect if he can hit the Magus on turn 2. Potentially, if he can do that, then he's just going to turn Adam completely out of the game. Because Adam's fetches at that point become useless, and then you just don't want to be pathing Adam's guys. What things that I think Adam's going to bring in, if he's not playing the main board, I think he'll bring in Lightning Helixes. Other things he can bring in are Reman's not super good, but if he has paths, he wants those for sure, and then go from there. So, other cards that the blue-white deck might want, if he's playing Gideon Jura on the sideboard, he can play that and just force Frank to attack the Gideon. Adam will probably also want some other way to deal with Frank's threats. So if he's bringing in possibly like Split Seconds maybe, or not Split Seconds, Sudden Shock, possibly if he's playing that in the deck. I'm not sure what Adam's sideboard is, but definitely bringing in a couple more counter spells, I think. Maybe Dispels. So anything's possible for Adam. There's a lot of different routes he could plan to take with this, so we'll see what he does. anything is possible. So, yeah. So, if you guys are watching right now, let me know what you're playing in Standard, what you're playing in Modern, what you're playing in Legacy, what you thought of the spoilers from today. Absolutely anything. There's a lot of cards that got spoiled today, some really interesting ones, some ones that have the potential to break formats. Let me know if you think they have potential to break formats. I know that they have potential to be really good. I'm not sure about format breaking, but we'll find out. One of the most notable cards that got spoiled today was the Storm Chaser Mage. So that got spoiled today, and it's playable. It's good. It's a 1/3 for 2 with flying, haste, and prowess. It's a pretty good suite of things to have on a creature. It's essentially a Swiftspear that has flying for 2 mana, basically. I don't know how you can go wrong with that. And if you're playing blue decks and you want to throw in a Twisted Image, you can make it stronger. It's just so much potential. Twisted Image even draws you a card. So with that, the Mage plus the new land, the 1/4 dual land, or man land, I should say, it makes things really interesting. So I think Frank's plan is to go Forest, Noble, Hierarch. There we go. And Frank has a mountain in hand, I think, as his... or mountain and a Wooded Foothills. So there's a Young Pyromancer. That's going to get bolted for sure on Frank's turn. There's a mountain. And here's the bolt. And then I think we're going to play Scavenging Ooze. There we go. So untap. If Adam has a Mentor, he can play the Mentor out. He may choose to not play the Mentor, based upon the fact that Frank could have another removal spell, and if he taps out to play the Mentor, then he's going to lose value. So he's got another Young Pyromancer. So Frank can take care of this one again if he wants, if he has another removal spell. So draws a Plains. So his mana fixing is perfect so far. So if he did bring in the Blood Moons, then he's totally fine. Adam does have an island already, so that makes Blood Moon a little bit worse. So the Scavenging Ooze is going to attempt to come across here. If I'm Frank here, I would have definitely played the Tarmogoyf, or played the Wooded Foothills instead of the Plains. Okay, so we're going to go get a basic here. Frank needs to decide if he wants to eat the Young Pyromancer. And the answer is no. As he probably wants to play the Tarmogoyf. And probably fetch up a green source. So get the forest. Yeah. So some of you guys might be thinking, I know, the deck is a little scrubby because it doesn't have all matching full art lands. But I play the full art lands I like. I happen to like those forests from Unhinged a little bit more than other things. Okay, so there's a Tarmogoyf, and we're going to have it followed up by a Qasali Pridemage. So, Tarmogoyf picture coming up. Tarmogoyf is currently a 2/3, I believe. Instant creature. Yep, 2/3. It is a boltable Tarmogoyf. There we go. They've got the little their Goyf die down there, and Adam's just going to pass the turn. So, we need to get a land into that graveyard real fast. Oh, Frank is just drawing land. Yeah, there's a Wooded Foothills. So make the Tarmogoyf bigger. Yeah, 2 Exalted triggers. It's a 4/5 right now with the Exalted triggers. So lots of interesting things going on. There we go. So 3/4. Adam's fetching up, which is going to make the Tarmogoyf bigger. Adam potentially could bolt it now. Never mind. It's a 5/6 now until end of turn because of the Exalted Triggers. So lots of interesting things around. So just fetch on the end step. Nothing too fancy. I'm trying to decide what he wants to do. He might have a mentor right now that he wants to play. He might not. Because Adam's deck has a lot of instants and sorceries, he might not want to commit more than what he needs to the board with the Young Pyromancer. So, Frank's going to fetch. I imagine he fetches up the Sacred Foundry here to give him another red source, or the Stomping Ground. One of those two. Don't get the forest. Yeah, he got the Sacred Foundry. So this gives him another red source and another white source, so he can potentially cast 2 bolts or 2 paths or a bolt and a path without any issues and still hold up something more. So we got another planes coming in here. So Frank has all but 2 fetchable targets. So the deck right now really wants to see a Knight of the Reliquary because he can start making the Knight really big by fetching out Kessig Wolfrun and then also fetching out other good value lands like fetch lands that'll put 2 lands in. But because Frank only has 2 fetchable targets left, he would just be basically cycling his mana base away to make the Knight bigger. So not the best in the best spot right now for that. But that's okay. So Adam's going to fetch here again. Frank came across. Adam blocked. Blocks for days. Okay. So this is the part of the match where it starts to really slow and grindy. Adam's just going to take the 5. And we're going to see another... Oh, we're going to see a Scavenging Ooze. Okay. So that Scavenging Ooze not going to do a whole lot except for to start to shrink Tarmogoyfs. Are we going to see it countered? Yep, countered, draw a card. Okay. So Adam says no Scavenging Ooze for you. And passes the turn. So we got an island. That's going to come in. And now Adam's going to start coming in. So Adam's coming in for 3 here. And then clears the board. Everything gone. Breaking another land. Oh my goodness. That's unfortunate for Frank. This is not what he wanted in this spot right now. Guarantee it. Frank is just kind of getting beat down right now. Adam is having his way with Frank at this point. So, I think if I'm Frank here, I'm just going to start holding cards until Adam gives me something relevant to do. Hit a Temple Garden. He paid... fetched up a Temple Garden. So, Frank has 1 fetchable target left. So, let's see what's going to happen. We're going to try and path. I like this line by Frank, because he's going to try and path the Mentor, which might get Adam to burn some spells. There we go.